matchup too is UConn, Florida. I mean, that one to me is you got a young head coach in Todd Golden. You got Danny Hurley. He knows that everybody in the country is picking Florida to win a national championship.
Yep.
He knows it. Yep. And he's going to have his team prepared. Is Florida a better team? Yes. But Danny Hurley's going to use that in his next 48 hours in the film room, in the film sessions, and he's going to make sure that that talented UConn team, and are they as talented as they have been the last 2 years? No. But they still have talent. They still have NBA players on that team. When you look at Florida, is there an NBA player on that team? Like, is there a guy that you're saying, like, this guy's a lock to play in the NBA?
I mean, I think Clayton has a chance.
Has a chance?
Alex Condon.
A chance.
Condon does. Condon's got a great chance.
Condon's a first-round pick.
Right.
Not this year, in a year. Next year.
Well, whenever
Not
it
this
is.
year,
Liam
next year.
McNeely's a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Florida's just a better team.
Florida is a better team.
They,
but
I mean,
Danny Hurley's going to have his team prepared to play that game.
Yep.
Danny Hurley's going to have his team prepared because his team's going to know that the entire country is picking Florida to win that game.
I appreciate your approach because you were talking to us like we're the Gators. You know, you're trying to have us respect the opponent, right? I respect that. UConn is mediocre. They
but
are.
when UConn
they beat an Oklahoma team that wasn't even in the tournament 2.5 weeks ago.
But when UConn has had their backs against the wall,
Hold on.
He's not going to let that fly.
Hold on.
No.
He's not. But
UConn loses to Seton Hall.
Yes.
What do they do the next game?
Beat Providence or some shit.
No, they went on the road and beat Creighton. And Danny Hurley's walking out of the arena and he's pointing to his fingers. I got 2 championships. This
Get
matchup,
the quote right. It was 2 rings Baldy.
Okay.
He said
Whatever.
2 rings Baldy.
I'm just saying this matchup to me is the most intriguing one on Sunday. I think Florida is better. Florida has more talent. Florida is better.
Florida's going to be a double-digit favorite.
Great.
Yep.
I'm awesome. And I hope Florida wins the game. But Danny Hurley's going to have his team prepared to play this game.
He's a great coach. I just think he's overmanned.
I just think it's going to be closer
Or
than
outmanned.
John, I have a question.
agree.
I have a question for you. What time does Memphis play on Sunday?
We unfortunately will not be playing on Sunday. All right, but that's separate. That's separate of the UConn discussion.
You know,
hurt people.
Brian,
Hey, Jarrell, does UConn have any shot of beating Florida? How did they beat them?
I think they do. And it's pretty much teeing up exactly what Matt just said. And I even mentioned it yesterday. I said I think that's a really intriguing matchup, specifically after we got a chance to talk to Coach Golden. And he comes in and he reminds us of the fact, I got to get a tournament win. Does Florida right now, everybody's picking them. They look great. They check all the boxes. Do they have the belief in themselves that they can make a run and win a national title right now? I think this game here, beating the reigning and defending champs,
it's a great point.
Gives them that confidence, that belief. But I also, on the flip side of things, you put UConn in a very, very tough but a good spot where nobody's believing us. Last time I checked, every single bit of coach speak that you could want in this game is going to be teed up for Danny Hurley.
I'll say this.
And he's going to use all.
One thing I'll say about that would give me hope if I was a UConn fan, and you guys know this, I was talking about at the time, would be the way Florida closed the game against Norfolk State in the second half. Like now, look, again, could be a thing where it's just a human condition. They get up 30, they take their foot off the gas. Or it could be that, Florida has some, vulnerabilities.
They have lapses.
They
have those lapses.
Absolutely right. So UConn's goal needs to be just when we see those, maximize our opportunity there.
And here's my other concern with Florida, though. When's the last time they were in a close game?
Yeah, it's been a while.
The Georgia game?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Tennessee.
So,
if
this thing comes
Tennessee
out,
in the SEC title game was close.
I just don't think these
right?
guys are going to get rattled. Elijah Martin's been in a Final Four.
He's been in a Final Four.
Walter Clayton's been in the NCAA Tournament.
Okay.
I don't think Alex Condon, I've spent some time around that kid. He's like this, man. Like, you're not going to rattle him.
I know, but we're going back to what's the most intriguing.
Doster's rattled right now.
What's the most intriguing
He's rattled thinking about the Gator chomp.
Coming out of what happened today. And
it's intriguing only if you took the name UConn off that team's chest, we're not even talking about this being that intriguing, but it is coached by Dan Hurley.
That's right.
They're
That's
the
right.
two-time
That's right.
defending champs.
And nobody gave
Jarrell
him a
said
shot.
it. No, Jarrell had the best point for Florida is they win this game. They're not thinking, oh, this is some weak-ass average UConn team.
No.
They're thinking, we just beat
We
the
just did it.
two-time
And it
defending
could
champs.
catapult
We
them.
can beat anybody.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I will say this, okay? If UConn wants to win this game, there's two things that they're going to have to do. Here's the two things they have to do. One, Alex Caravan's got to win that matchup at the 4 because Florida plays the two bigs, right? They play a two big system and they pound the offensive glass, and that is where UConn can kind of be taken advantage of, right? Teams have attacked Alex Caravan a lot at that 4 spot when they got guys that played that position. So he has to come ready to play, whether it's Alex Condon or Thomas Hawk or whoever he is matched up with at the 4, he has to find a way to be able to compete and win that matchup. And the other thing is they really struggle with the off-ball stuff, specifically solo ball. Solo ball is probably going to end up guarding Elijah Martin. That's how it's going to shake out. I think you want Liam McNeely on Will Richard, solo ball on Elijah Martin. When they're running them off those zoom actions, when you're running them off those off-ball stuff, when he's on the weak side and solo ball is lost on the trying to figure out what he's supposed to be like, that is where this game is going to be lost, is at the 4 spot, and whether or not their guards can deal with all the off-ball stuff and the modern sets that Florida is running. Yeah. That's how you win if you're UConn. You got to blow that stuff up, and you got to keep them off the offensive glass.
I'll say this too. The last point on this game, we'll move on. Todd Golden has a belief in who he is. And when he coaches, he's not going to be intimidated by Danny Hurley.
No doubt.
He's not going to.
No doubt.
Like he's been in the SEC with Sharks, with Bruce Pearl, his mentor, who he worked for, with John Calipari, with Rick Barnes, and he's knocked all those guys off. Like, he's not going to be intimidated by this matchup at all. Like, he's going to turn around and get the crowd going. He's going to do the Gator chomp when it's going well for the Gators. Like, it's going to be fun. It's exciting.
It is. It's going to be a great time. Now, there's one matchup that we think could break viewership records for a second-round tournament game. We will get into that and a whole lot more here on Field 68 After Dark.